Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Straight to our top story, then a fresh fire broke out at the Mulund dumping ground in Mumbai on Monday morning. Toxic fumes formed a smoke cloud that covered Mulund East and parts of Bhandup and Thane. Remember, the Mulund dumping ground was where Mumbai's civic body had started dumping waste after fires broke out in the saturated Deonar landfill early this year, leading to a severe public health crisis. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal was at Mulund earlier in the day and she gets us this ground report.
From the looks of it, Mumbaikars will have to wait to get clean breathing air. Behind me is the dumping ground in Mulund, and this dumping ground caught a massive fire Sunday afternoon. As you can see behind me, we can still see a lot of smoke and a lot of smog coming out of this dumping ground. Now close to 4 fire engines have been installed here to douse off this fire. Now Mulund dumping ground is the next dumping ground after Deonar, where the city's garbage is being dumped. And after 2 massive fires took place at Deonar garbage dump within a span of 2 months, the garbage that used to go to Deonar also started coming to Mulund. Now authorities had promised citizens that they will take very swift actions against all the fires that were taking place in Deonar, but from the looks of this, it looks as if the authorities will have to widen their scope and they'll have to make sure that not just Deonar but other dumping grounds in the city do not catch fire, as fire that comes out from these dumping grounds is extremely hazardous, not just for areas close by but also for the whole of the city.
But what is happening in Mulund and Deonar is not a Mumbai problem alone. In fact, cities around the country are grappling with a mounting garbage problem. Just last week, Magic Bricks Now got you a report of the fires breaking out in Ghazipur, Delhi's largest dumping ground, which also has reached a saturation point. What can cities do? Where do we go from here? To give us an expert perspective on that, we have with us Rishi Agarwal joining us on the phone. And Rishi, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Property News and Magic Bricks. Now tell us, with temperatures rising, fires like these will be more frequent, but is it possible at all to contain it and limit the effect on the air that we breathe?
No, I think it's 100% possible to contain the fires and preempt them. But clearly we don't seem to be interested in that. I mean, it's 70 days since the first Deonar fire broke out. And in these 70 days, I don't think we seem to have learned or implemented anything new. The highlight I want to point over here is that Einstein's definition of insanity, that doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. I think that is completely befitting in this kind of a scenario, where we are just not trying to do the different things, and there is nothing much different to be done. We are not following the fundamentals at all. In the past 70 days also, we have not implemented the segregation law at all. The municipal corporation still continues to accept mixed waste from lakhs of buildings across the city, which is completely illegal. So if we're going to keep doing the same things again and again, then we are going to possibly see this fire keep burning again and again. And we should learn to live with this kind of a scenario, I guess.
This is a problem we're seeing in city after city. It is just not just Mumbai and Delhi. Does the solution then lie in creating new dumping grounds? Because, we've seen what happened in Mulund is because there was a problem with Deonar, they started dumping in Mulund, and now Mulund catches fire.
No. So creating new dumping grounds is absolutely not the solution. I mean, I've been talking about this ad nauseum. I don't know how many times since the Deonar fires broke out, that we have 100, 200 buildings in the city right now which are zero waste buildings. They're not sending 1 kg of waste to either Mulund or Deonar or Kanjurmarg. So if we can have 100 of such buildings, why can't we have 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh such buildings? The moment you have such buildings, you're going to cut off the supply. I mean, the garbage is the fuel which is adding to that fire. I mean, if we cut off the fuel supply, then automatically the fire will go down. But we need to be interested in doing that.
Interested in doing that, that's the big question here, isn't it? Rishi, the BMC's proposed development control rules stress on solid waste management when it comes to new projects. Do you think this is a step in the right direction?
So this is nothing new. This has been talked about for more than a decade now. They keep saying that, okay, new projects. I think in the past decade, we've seen thousands and thousands of new projects come up, and still no difference. So it's not a question of new projects or old projects. This is not rocket science at all. It can be retrofitted into any building. So, and again, we've been saying that there are so many local entrepreneurs who are bringing such beautiful solutions to the table to make your building zero garbage. and we have completely solutions which can operate out of 100 square feet. So I'm sure that much space is available in every building across the city. So this is all old, old wine, new bottles. Same thing keeps getting repeated again and again, and we don't act upon it.
All right, all right. Let's to tell us more. In fact, Rishi, hold on the phone line with us because we have this BMC corporator Manoj Kotak who joins us on the phone line again here on the Property News and Magic Bricks Now. Mr. Kotak, thank you so much for taking time out. You represent the people of Mulund in the BMC. What exactly is the civic body telling you? How are they looking to contain this crisis now that it's reached Mulund?
Yeah, since last 3 years, we are trying to resolve this garbage issue, which is the dumping ground in the Mulund. And corporation is repeatedly telling only that we are going to close it down, but not even going beyond the files. Things are still in files.
All right, the Mulund dumping ground was scheduled to be shut down actually, Mr. Kotak. Will that demand come up again now?
Yeah, they had represented in the state government, they had replied in the assembly also, they had represented the same thing in the court also. But still the closer things are not moving beyond files due to some officials' vested interest.
All right, we know that TCS has sent in its recommendations on Deonar. How exactly is the BMC looking to solve that mess?
Repeat, pardon?
The TCS, the company which was in charge of coming up with the report, has sent its report and its recommendations on Deonar. On Deonar first up, how is BMC looking to solve the Deonar mess to start with?
See, Deonar case has only recommended waste to energy project of 2,000 metric ton per day. But actual dumping at the Deonar is also going on something around 3,500 to 4,000 ton per day. This is what BMC record shows. So only 2,000 metric ton plant is not going to serve any purpose. Still, we should look forward the more scientific manner closing terms in Deonar also.
Mr. Rishi Agarwal, I hope you're listening to Mr. Kotak. Tell us, do you think we're at least progressing in the right direction? Do you see a solution to this crisis from what you've heard and what Mr. Kotak had to say?
Not at all, not at all. Whatever Mr. Kotak spoke does not inspire any confidence at all.
Okay.
He still does not seem to be speaking the language of waste reduction at source, which is the very fundamental principle of solid waste management, which is reduce, reuse, recycle. So what Mr. Kotak is saying is that we will not implement municipal solid waste management 2000 rules. We will keep collecting mixed waste from lakhs and lakhs of buildings, and we will keep looking at end of the pipe solutions, whether it is waste to energy.
On behalf of Rishi Agarwal, I am not talking on the behalf of the corporation. I am the people's representative. I am speaking the same language as you are speaking.
No,
because we are demanding this thing since last so many years. I am raising this issue in the standing committee also, in the corporation also. But corporation officials, who is the ruled bureaucracy, is not listening to us. That is the thing I am putting forward.
Rishi, it's very clear here. It's very clear here. It's the top brass at BMC which doesn't seem to be listening to people's representatives like Mr. Kotak.
No, Krishna. What I'm saying is there are 227 municipal councillors in the city. Can those municipal councillors on their own, in their councillor wards, take up making buildings zero garbage? That's all that I'm requesting. That is completely within their hands.
I had done in my area, Mr. Agarwal.
One at a time, gentlemen, please.
You can come in the Mulund and see that. I had done in my area. This thing
Absolutely.
is going on
that is
1 year.
so that is wonderful. If I'm saying with 227 corporators.
But that is not a solution. No? That solution should be come up from the government side or the corporation side, the bureaucracy, cash rich BMC corporation, 51,000 crore FD in the bank. They cannot ask citizens to do these all things, and citizens can act in the limited manner, and that manner.
No, Mr.
Kotak, that is the law. Coming only from the residentials. Waste is coming from the commercials also. Waste is coming from the different industrial unit also.
All right.
And waste is coming on from the citizens.
All right.
Each and every segment of the society. So that is not a responsibility of the society.
All right. All right. I'm going to have to intervene at this point in time, Manoj and Rishi. It is very clear that at this stage, whatever that needs to be done, we're far, far away from it. Whatever be the reasons, I think Mr. Kotak, what is being expressed by Rishi over here, here are the emotions of the people of a city like Mumbai, or for that matter, any city suffering from the kind of public health crisis that these dumping grounds can create. We've seen it happen in Deonar. Now we're seeing it happening in Mulund. And the request from be it the environmentalist Rishi Agarwal or our audience here or me is that whatever be the reasons, it is high time that action starts being taken on the ground with more long-term solutions, keeping in mind and not just moving from one dumping ground to another. That's an interim solution. Mr. Kotak, it's a sincere request to people like you and to the BMC as a whole to start taking action right now. On that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, Rishi Agarwal, and thank you, Mr. Manoj Kotak, for joining us here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magic Bricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magic Bricks Now.